There we go. All right, we are live. Welcome back to another episode of Chiropractic Is Sexy. I'm Dr. Paula Ruffin.
I'm Dr. Erica Peabody here with my hot tea.
Oh, it is cold, and I think that's also why our nervous systems get a little
Yes. Yeah, it does. It takes definitely, it definitely takes the whole system up a level to be working with what, that kind of a shift in our temperatures. Where are we at? 17 or something degrees today.
I think 19. We're 20 degrees less than where we should be.
Yeah, what I really love about it, though, is when it's really cold, it's usually really super sunny. So it's like we also get like this gorgeous blue sky and gorgeous white everything and sunshine. So yeah, it's always both.
We're a little bit. I know I in my adjusting bay, the sun comes through that window and it hits my back. And even though it's freezing outside, I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels so good. Yeah, so great. Thank you, Lily. Good to see you. I know I love this sweater. So cute. So we wanted to come on, Dr. Eric and I are always talking about lifestyle and nervous system and how do we keep ourselves protected. But at this time of year, even more so, we get into it's sugar season. However, it's also stress season. And the amount of stress that people experience between family stress, financial stress, holiday stress, job stress, like it all seems to come crashing in. And 1 in 3 Americans say that December is their most stressful time of the year. So we really need to talk to you about how do we protect ourselves, what's happening to our nervous systems, and what things can we be doing to make sure that we do not fall victim to this December stress and how it can actually be so detrimental to our overall health.
Well, I was talking with a patient actually just this morning, and they're like, where is this blah, blah, blah coming from? Because patients ask us that all the time. How did I get this blah, blah, blah? Where is this coming from? How, and it's like, well, it's multifactorial. It's not only if they said, is it from my pillow? I'm like, yes. And well, is it from my job? Yes. And is it from the holidays? Is it from what's it from? It's from everything. And it's really like, there's no button to push to unwind it. And there's no button that was pushed that wound it up. Our body keeps score. We say that almost every week here. And exactly like you said, so much stress. You guys, I'll share my holiday feelings about all of it because of the level of stress that we take on as chiropractors in the public. But just, my own personal thing, I'll share some other time or later on in this episode. But it's like, if we really look around us, how much is actually necessary? How much of the things that matter are being acknowledged and how many things are over the top and unnecessary? And I think that's one of the main focuses is now that we're at December 4th, we've got a whole month to determine how we want to take on this month. And I'm just stoked for this episode because chiropractic should sit right in the center of your month. It really should. Get your friends and family chiropractic adjustments for Christmas. What if you did that?
I mean,
way better than another sweater.
When you think about having to go to a family event and you're like, oh my gosh, every time I have to go and talk to Aunt Susie, oh my God, she's so negative and she's constantly running from here to there. You know what? She could use a gift of chiropractic adjustments.
Give the gift of health.
Give the gift of health because Aunt Susie's brain is probably just like on fire. And if she got adjusted, it might calm her down and you might actually enjoy spending time with her. Mm-hmm. Then that won't cause dysregulation in your desire to visit with Aunt Susie. So it's especially this time of year. And if you are under chiropractic care, and you're the once a monther, I would encourage you get in every week during the holidays. We think about, Dr. Eric and I take care of pregnant patients as well. And we tell these people in their last trimester, usually like throughout the pregnancy, I want them here weekly, but just depending on their schedules. But that last trimester, they need to be here weekly because the amount of physical stress, emotional stress, chemical stress in the body, this is no different. In a
Mhm.
pregnant woman, yes, she's growing life and the body is experiencing stress, but the brain still subliminally thinks that it's being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. We have holiday stress. I have to go shop for so and so and so and so. Oh my God, and they had kids, and now I got to buy for all the kids. I tend to think that financial stress and family stress tend to be the two biggest things, just on a
Yeah. Oh, for
just from my
sure.
own personal observation. And so it's so critical that you start paying attention to what matters.
Mhm.
I promise you that if you don't buy a gift for someone, you write them a nice handmade card, that is going to go so much further. It's going to save on your money. It's going to cause your brain to be like, oh my God, thank God I just saved $50. You have 10 people that you have to spend $50 on. It's a lot of money. It adds up fast.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just thinking about that as you're saying, it's financial and it's family. So those two F's, but there's also, and it will stem right into your, into sort
My
of
Cool
your,
Whip cookies.
yeah, but
Oh,
here's the thing. So we can only handle so much stress in our life. So if financial and family, you can do something a little bit about financial, like Dr. Paula just said. But family, we really can't do anything about it except for handle it better. But if we have those two stresses already, and then maybe we skipped a couple workouts or something like that, and then you eat a bunch of crap at the same time, our systems are set up for illness the beginning of January. And
mhm.
you will willfully walk yourself right through this month into cold and flu season, or you can start to drop some of the stress layers. I was talking to a patient who is going from entrepreneurship back into a regular job for and working for somebody. And I was talking about that backpack. So if you have a backpack that you're carrying around this month of December and you're just loading it with now credit card debt
Rocks,
and,
more rocks. Yeah.
yes, and family and stress and career, and then you're adding in crappy food and alcohol and desserts around every corner, and let me just wait until January 1st to fix all of this. I'm telling you guys, if you're listening to us right now, do yourself a massive winter season favor by stop with the rocks that you're throwing in there just willy-nilly and not thinking about it. So family financial for sure. But then also tell us about some of the things that were served at your dinner and how, first of all, I think you should always be hosting and never going anywhere because of the level of quality that you put and love that you put into your things. But also when you do go somewhere, which you do often, how you prep for that, which is summertime too, lake time too, same. But this
It's
gets really
yeah,
bad.
it doesn't matter. I know Dr. Eric and I always talk about presetting and resetting. And so we have and of course we talked about this a little bit before Thanksgiving, preset before the holidays. I'm going to a gala on Saturday. Well, this whole week I'm presetting again from, which I didn't really do anything outrageous on
Right.
Thanksgiving, but I'm pre-setting before my gala because I want to have a couple cocktails. I don't know what kind of food they're going to serve. I am going to eat before I go because I want to make sure that I'm protecting myself from a nourishment perspective. I'm going to drink a ton of water. I'm going to dance. So I'm going to be moving. So, and then I'm going to reset following that. And so to address Dr. Erica's question about Thanksgiving. So a couple of things happened. I went to a friend's for Thanksgiving, people that I grew up with, and they had asked me to bring the bread dressing, which I've also realized that there's a difference between dressing and stuffing. When you tell people stuffing, they're like, oh, you're making the turkey too. And I'm like, no. So I had to start saying dressing. So I was making dressing because I was saying the thing that I love, my indulgent thing at Thanksgiving is bread dressing. And I want a really good bread dressing loaded up with breakfast sausage and tons of sage and onions and celery and all. And it was, so I made it. I took it. I used high quality bread. I actually used breadcrumbs, but I got the good breadcrumbs, not crumbs, but chunks. And I had these lofty ideas that I was going to make my own sourdough and cut it and toast it. And I was like, that was a stress. And I was like, you know what? There's good quality breadcrumbs I can buy. I'm not doing that. So I
Well, I
did.
think with FaceTime that morning, I'm like, make that and keep that at home in a smaller version, and then take good quality, but you don't have to make the sourdough, toast the sourdough, do all
She gave me permission to not make the sourdough, so I didn't. But so I made the dressing. It was as delicious as I wanted it. It was wonderful. And Dr. Eric has always said too, if you can take the time to make it, your body can handle it and eat it.
make it.
And what I find with that mindset is that when you take the time to make it, you don't gorge or overindulge, or like I had like probably a handful size portion. Like
Mhm.
and I enjoyed it. And thank God I took that. So my daughter also, she made homemade macaroni and cheese. Now, my daughter's a mini me. She bought high quality cheese. She made the roux. She shredded it by hand. Like this mac and cheese was to die for. Okay. So then, cheesy potatoes always make an appearance. And then there was a casserole, a sweet potato casserole that made an appearance. And I was sitting next to one of the people there who I had met, but more of an acquaintance thing. And I said, and she was talking about like her diabetes, and she was eating these sugar-coated pecans that she made. I ate 2 of them and I thought I was going to go into a diabetic coma. She proceeded to tell me she can eat all she wants. It doesn't tank her blood, or doesn't spike her blood pressure, but it tanks it. If you're diabetic, you should know that's a rebound drop in blood sugar because you spiked it so high. So anyway, I take one bite of the sweet potatoes, and you guys, it was like eating freaking, like it was so sweet. I couldn't handle it. And I said, she goes, "Oh, I made the sweet potato casserole." And I was like, okay. And then I took one bite of the potatoes and I was like, I should probably fact check the potatoes. And I said, "Did you make the potatoes too?" And she goes, "I did." And I said, "What kind of cheese did you use?" And she said, "Velveeta." And I was like, just like that. And I was like, "Oh, good." I did not take one more bite of anything else. I was like, I stuck to turkey, my daughter's mac and cheese, and my stuffing. Oh,
Yeah,
and the cranberry sauce from the can. Nobody touched that one. So
yeah. Well, it's one of those things, it's like, okay, so Dr. Paula and I were on FaceTime on Friday morning, and so she was sharing with me a little bit about it, and then it was like, "So what did you do with the food? Like, if you serve yourself," I'm like, "Do you just like smear it into the corners of the plate so it looks, or did you like, I mean, but regardless, as you can tell, Dr. Paula is not in any way, shape, or form putting that into her body, because what are the effects of that? Some of those chemicals, especially the Velveeta, I mean, does it have chemicals that sticks around in the body and inflames the whole thing? More than likely, how long does it stay in the body? Does the body know what to do with it? It's a chemical. So then the body's like, what in the heck was that? And then it starts, what I always tell my patients, I'm like, when you put those things in the body that are inflammatory, which that's wildly inflammatory, it sets small bonfires in areas that were maybe a little bit agitated anyway. So if you imagine setting small bonfires everywhere in your body, I actually had a patient come in a couple of years ago and she said, I was sitting at Thanksgiving dinner and I actually have enough body awareness that I could feel parts of my spine starting to react to some of the inflammatory foods. And I'm like, good for you. And you can make those choices accordingly, right? You can make the choice to still do it, and that's okay, but preset before and reset after, or drink a whole ton of water, fill your plate with greens, like do something so that you can still feel like you're partaking, but you're not going to toxify and assault and annihilate your system. So no, you're not going to have another bite of that stuff. No, her diabetes probably skyrocketed. She probably had to, and who knows what else, right? But we're not doing that.
well,
And
I
just don't do it.
because
But
it goes on.
yeah,
So
exactly.
so she'd been diabetic for 40 years. And then we got into the whole Cool Whip cookie thing. So she made these cookies. They look beautiful. I don't know. Ken, if you can find a picture and load it and bring it. They look beautiful.
They're
They really do.
beautiful.
They're like all perfectly crackled. They're coated in powdered sugar. And she says, these are made with Cool Whip. They're free for diabetics. And I go, what does that mean? And she says, there's no sugar in Cool Whip. And I go, what? I just like drooled on myself. And I go, Cool Whip has sugar in it. No, it doesn't. And she's something about how they baked up. And I go, yeah, they're one molecule away from plastic. Of course they look like that. No, it isn't. She got so mad at me. And then I sat there. So then I was like, listen, there's a lot of things that if people have opinions on something, I won't get in. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to get into an argument. You're going to have your opinion. Ken's looking up there. Look how pretty they are. Aren't they pretty? Really? Those are cool cookies. Yeah. You guys don't do it. And so thank you, Ken. So so just going back for a second. So she made these cookies, claimed they didn't have sugar. Of course, I'm sitting there and I'm like, they do have sugar. And I read the list and I'm like, again, if it's an opinion, and I know I'm not going to change an opinion on something, but when you are 100% factually wrong, I'm like, I cannot, especially when it comes to nutrition, I am not going to sit there and
idly by. No.
Then she proceeds to tell me that she had she's 61 years old, had a quadruple bypass over the summer. So this person, and she's like, and I don't know where it came from, and it just came out of the blue. And it's just, no, it has been like, just like you said, she's been setting small bonfires in her body her whole life. And this is what it culminated. Like, your body doesn't break for no reason. It has to have a reason to fall. And when you have been putting that kind of destructive chemicals in your system, thinking they're food, which also inspired me. I mean, this event created so much content for me. I actually created the Dirty 30. Lily, I still have to send you your copy of the Dirty 30, which is the top 30 foods and food-like substances you should never, ever, ever put in your body. So I created this digital download. If anybody wants it, go ahead and drop me a message. And, but it was like, no, Velveeta, Cool Whip, packaged stuffings, the creamers, and it's everything that you do each and every day that you think is safe. And I still need to go and look up like the American Diabetes Association to see if that's like on their website. Like, who told her that Cool Whip was free for diabetics? Like, that's malpractice.
It is, but also the Diabetic Association is directly connected with the pharmaceutical industry. And so they don't really, like, I have a type 1, my very best friend is a type 1. And she has been on insulin. She's now 51. She's been on insulin for 31 years. And she is also keto. And if she would have gone keto years ago, or like fat fueled and protein fueled, she probably would, like, she's also a kidney transplant. She's in great shape. You wouldn't even know that this is going on for her. But also, if she would have known what she knows now back then, like, she's able to actually like scale way back on her insulin. And so I think it's not keto clarity. There's a book about the keto diet. This is not like because everyone needs to go keto. That's not why I'm saying this, but they addressed the president of the American Diabetic Association. He happened to be, and I got to remember what movie this was. It was a documentary. And so they walked up to him. He was eating lunch in the cafeteria of, I don't know if it's like the American Diabetic Center or like wherever the main hub is. And they walked up to him and they were talking about the keto diet. And what if you didn't eat sugar? Like, could you regulate your sugars if you didn't eat the sugar? Like, would you have to take less insulin? Would you be able to get off insulin potentially? And he's like, so he's sitting and they like sideswipe his lunch, truly, and him at lunch. And he's like, I don't want to argue about this. They're like, sir, we're not trying to argue with you. He's like, well, I'm not here to argue this down and whatever. Like, he had nothing to respond because it's the truth, is like, Cool Whip isn't free. Sugar isn't free. No matter what's going on, if you have that kind of process going on in the body, nothing's free. Nothing is free. And that just brings me back to Silly Lily had said everything in moderation around the holidays. Dr. Paula and I would agree with this unless it's poison. Mm-hmm. Dr. Paula and I do not agree in moderation of poison ever. And it's just never like everything in moderation, yes. But as long as it's not super ultra processed food and everything whole food, yes, in moderation. Everything, when Dr. Paula was saying about like the sourdough, there's this great phrase that she was saying is if you can take the time to make it, your body can take it. But you cannot make cinnamon rolls, just as in, for instance, you cannot make batch after batch after batch of cinnamon rolls like you could go out and buy cinnamon rolls. So that means if you take the process of doing sourdough, take it all the way into making cinnamon rolls, then your body can actually consume that, because you're not going to do that for days because no one has time to do that. But if you can, that's why sourdough is so great for people. It's really, really gut health benefit, is because you let it rise, you let it ferment, you let it do its thing and do its next thing and feed it and do days of whatever. I don't do sourdough. I don't have the patience for it. But I know, if you can take the time to make it, your body can take it. That means not getting cranberries out of a can. What?
Yeah.
No one should be
That was
doing
on the Dirty 30. The
No one
shit
should
that's
do
added
that.
to that. I know it's crazy. And when we think about, again, I probably should have pulled that up. I don't know if I could pull that up real quick here, Ken, but I'll see if I can pull it up real quick. But anyway, it's amazing when you start looking at, and that's right. And then Lily ratted out Ken because I called out the flavored creamers, and she ratted out Ken in the comments about how he loves flavored creamers. So.
I love it. Call your spouse in to listen to us, and then call them out while you're listening to us, and we'll back you up.
Right.
This would be great therapy.
Here we go. Dirty 30. Well, and again, the problem is the education, like where, and okay, so I feel badly for this woman, and her daughter was also there, who clearly, like, I don't want to sit at a party and judge people. And it's not judging in a sense of like being negative on them. Oh, you got it. Thank you. But it's a matter of it's same thing. If I see you in a grocery store and I look at what's in your cart, I'm going to look at you. I'm going to look at your skin. I'm going to look at your size. I'm going to look at how you walk. I'm going to look at, there we go. There we go. Okay. I'm going to look at all the things, because then I'm going to be like, that's why you're like that. Mm-hmm. And so her daughter was there, and the daughter, clear picture of polycystic ovarian. Like literally, if you think of PCOS, and we don't have time to go into what that picture looks like, watch some other videos, but I know Dr. Erica knows what I'm talking about. And they had a baby that was 7 months old that I thought was under 8 weeks. This baby was so tiny and so undernourished. And then the mom kept giving her the sweet potato casserole. And she was like, she loves it. She loves it. And I'm like, oh my God, this poor kid, this poor baby doesn't have a chance. Like, no. She was born preemie, and you're just going to shovel all this sugar down her. And they were feeding her formula. Like, I can't even get into that. But anyway, so you can see here, like there's so many things that can start adding up your calories. And how prepackaged garlic bread, how many of those things show up at a party? The box mixes, the Bisquick. And listen, you guys, I loved Bisquick. I was a Bisquick queen. Loved that. Tube cinnamon rolls, twist, boom, like, we can't do it. It's, and you have to then come face to face. Thanks for pulling that up, Ken. You have to come face to face with what is your current level of health, and what are all the small things? What are all the small, tiny bonfires you're building each and every day with all the little things? And if you can scale back, and I don't care that you want creamer in your coffee. I'm going to ask you, Ken, if you could take not your creamer and put heavy cream or good quality half and half, not with any gums in it, and a little bit of maple syrup and cinnamon. I'm going to challenge you to that. And I will tell you, if you do that for a week and you try going back to that creamer, you're probably going to be like, ew.
It'll taste like a cleaning product. Let's
Yes.
start cleaning things up. Other things taste like products you should be cleaning your home with, not food. Not
Right.
food. And patients tell me that all the time. They're like, "You know what? Over the last blah, 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 6 months, the past year, I, like, really have cleaned up," mostly because they're listening to us, which is awesome, but also they're doing the work on outside of here, and they're like, "And then I sat down to, again, like a Thanksgiving dinner. I went to someone's birthday party and I had a little something of this or that." And they're like, "It tastes terrible." And it's satisfying because it's like catching some sensory taste buds and things like that, but they're like, "It tastes like a cleaning product," or it tastes like a bonfire, like when you throw really bad things in it and it like smokes, like it tastes like that smells, or it tastes like something like just it's terrible.
Some kind of
So
chemical.
something. It's very weird. And so anyway, yeah. And then so kind of a quick, easy switch that I know you mentioned on your Sunday night show of Cool Whip, like whip up, what'd you say, like the
Yeah,
coconut?
coconut cream is so easy to just blend with a hand blender. That's one way to do it. Or even just heavy
Organic,
whipping
heavy,
cream
free.
with a
And then,
hand blender. It's
yeah.
you guys, if you actually take heavy whipping cream and you make your own whipped cream, again, little splash of maple syrup, little splash of cinnamon. Sometimes I don't even need the maple syrup. It's crazy how like intoxicatingly good it is. And you don't need a ton of it. And I think that's the problem too we run into when we get into like Cool Whip, or we get into like aerosol cans
Ah,
of cream. And it's just all those different chemicals. And I know you're thinking, oh, but it's one day a year, it's a couple times a year. What are you doing each and every day that is something you don't do every day, but is causing detriment to your health? And you're those little tiny bonfires that Dr. Erica mentioned, it's wreaking havoc on your nervous system.
mm,
And then you get into that's how we get into these funks where
mhm.
we're like, oh my God, and you feel guilty. And then you go to the next thing and you're like, well, I already blew it. And then you give yourself permission to completely go off the rails.
Mhm.
And then January 1st becomes the whole, I'll start over then. And you spend 6 weeks just completely destroying your health. And you're not being kind to you and this beautiful body that you've been given. So start thinking about how kind are you being to yourself, and nourishing it properly is one of the foundational things that you can
Oh,
do.
for sure. And you'd say, it's just one day. Like, it's not though anymore. Like,
Mhm.
when we look back and we talked about this at Halloween, Halloween isn't just one day anymore. It's trunk or treats every single weekend
It's a
leading
freaking
up to the
month.
entire month. And then Thanksgiving is really, I think Thanksgiving is kind of scaled back really to like one day, or maybe Thursday and maybe Saturday for the other side of the family is Thanksgiving or something. But Christmas, like I have Christmas celebrations. I have at least 6 or 7 Christmas celebrations, and it's already started. And then there's another one this Saturday, and then it's like it's every day. But I got to tell you, so my uncle lives a couple doors down from this big blue building in the center of town. He's got a big, gorgeous old Victorian that he's restored, and he has a Jingle Fest party. So we have Jingle Fest here downtown Fenton, but I go to his house and everybody brings something. But what I go for when I go to a meal like that, and I want you to think about this, is protein and greens first. And by the time you have those in the system, you're not going to want, like, if you started with potato chips or corn chips or something sweet off the dessert table, like your brain is not signaling nourishment necessarily. But if you start with proteins and greens, the body's like, oh, sweet. Much like you were talking about with making your own heavy whipping cream, or using heavy whipping cream, make your own whipped cream. Your body's like, oh, that's nourishment. Oh, my brain's registering fats and it's registering nutrients, and it's registered like heavy coconut cream. Like your body's like,
So yummy.
thank you for that.
Mhm.
Instead of like, what the heck was that? It tasted kind of satisfying. Let me have more. And you load your hot chocolate this high with that crap aerosol stuff, whatever. So
Give me
your
the real
body,
stuff.
yeah, let your body look at the table, the spread in front of you. Look for the nourishment there, like deviled eggs. My mom always brings deviled eggs everywhere. I'd rather have 4 halves of deviled eggs, knowing I'm getting about 12 grams of protein, some good healthy fats, and not a lot of trans or weird oils. I go for those, and I'll go for the turkey that'll be on the table, or chicken, and then ham, and then the veggies. And if I have a full plate of that, I'm not going back over and over for the crap. So think about that as you're going through, because your body, if it's registering nourishment, it's not going to overeat. It's very difficult to overeat that heavy whipping cream as it would Cool Whip. You put those two and you're never going to overeat it. It's too much for the system.
Well, and you mentioned do the protein in the greens. You're assuming greens are going to make an appearance. There was not one green thing. It was all starch. There were 0 vegetables. But see, I ate cucumbers earlier in the day. I ate good quality protein. I had my nutrition shake. So I made sure I covered my bases on that. Vegetables will usually never make an appearance unless you bring them. So that's where, like, bringing a veggie tray, I always talk about that, like bring a veggie tray so that you have like good nourishing, low caloric, high nutrient dense, high fiber foods that you can eat. And then also that fiber helps you digest. It helps you feel fuller. It doesn't allow you to get bloated. So think about that perspective. And Dr. Eric is right. It's like survey the table first before you just start at one end, and then because then you're going to put stuff on your plate that you might not want because you don't think there's good stuff at the other end.
Yeah. Nope, it's great. And also, as you go, if you're looking for more just bandwidth to be able to manage the holidays, we always want to bring back, I mean, our people in our practices are now, they're not only, they want to get to the end of the year and be really healthy, but they're also like, my stress level is through the roof, and it's the stress of regular days. And it's not like our world's part sees and we have all this time and space and energy to just manage the holidays. It's also everything else that was already there. And so anyway, it's been awesome because people kind of float out of here after their adjustment and feel amazing, and then go out there and if they have to stop at the grocery store, like they'll make better choices because their brain's functioning better, their body's functioning better. So anyway.
Or they go back to work with greater bandwidth. And, we're talking about food and parties and lifestyle and family and financial stress, but we can't forget the fact that it's year end for a lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs, and people often, it's the overworking. So you've got that schedule going on with the party schedule going on with, I got a Christmas shot. I mean, there's so much that comes crashing down. So it's really just trying to regulate all of that. It's putting boundaries around your time. I have actually, one of my coaching clients has no boundaries around her time and keeps asking me for times that she's like, I can do Fridays. I'm like, I did a Friday for her once. I'm like, I'm not doing that, because she has no boundaries around her time does not mean I should break my boundaries for her. Right. So I need you guys to really consider that, is that so many people do not put boundaries around their time, around their bandwidth, around what they need, and then they want to steal yours. Mm-hmm. If you can protect yourself, and I promise you'll feel so good. It's the opportunity to say no. And you don't feel guilty. There's no guilt around saying no when you're protecting yourself. And I think that's a critical piece going into the holidays. Like, it's okay to say no to a party if you can't make it. Yeah. I can't. I need some time. I need to just sit in my pajamas, or right? No. And you don't have to get like, no's a complete sentence. Mm-hmm. No one has to know why no.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No. Yeah. No. What?
I think also, it's 2 words, right? No. I think also there's the ability. I think if somebody invited you to do something or go to a party that you really didn't want to, and you say no, or you know, give an excuse or whatever. If you were just straightforward and said, I don't I don't want to. It's gonna serve me to stay home today. That's what I did on Sunday. There was a lot of things. Well, fortunately we got snowed in, but there were a lot of things that also came up locally that I could have gone and done. I'm like, I actually don't want to. I want to respect my time and energy and all of that and just be at home with my home, enjoying my mortgage. That's what I keep saying. Just got home enjoying my mortgage. But, you know, with the dogs or whatever, it actually the next time what this does for that person is it sort of gives them permission to also go forward and maybe shed some light, and maybe they don't want to do something, and then they're able to uphold their own personal boundaries and energy because they saw you do it. So it doesn't mean like put the kibosh on everything, but it does mean be really, really respectful. I love there's a lot of blended families right now, right? Just in our world in general. And I have this set of parents that were also from two blended families. So two sets of parents on each side. And then they had kids. And when they were young, they were hauled around to all the things. So they opened up all their gifts. Then they had to go to one home. Then they had to go to another home and open gifts. And yeah, it was gifts and lovely and all that. And they just say no to Christmas Day for one, but a couple other times in the year. And they're just like, our answer is no, because we remember that. And that wasn't serving us back then. And then I'm also hearing like, we're not doing Christmas morning stuff. We're going to maybe do a dinner at 5 and let people sit and drink their coffee and enjoy the Christmas spirit, because the week starts again and it's 100 miles an hour. So take the moments with the people you love while you can and encourage others to do the same. So,
And that is, that calms your nervous system. Those
yeah. Yes,
relationships,
right
those
there.
connections.
Just
Yeah, the
talking about
connections matter. And the
Mhm.
best connection is the connection you have with yourself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's great. And you're right. There's so many blended families, and I feel so badly for these families, and they've got these young kids, and they're running from one place to the next. And I'm like, you don't have to do all those things on the actual holiday. Like, plan something different. Make it easy. It's hard enough raising kids, let alone having your family make you drag your kids all around. Like, it's enough already. We're too stressed out, and we just need to calm ourselves, and you need to stop by the chiropractor and get adjusted before
Exactly.
you head out. Should we be open on Christmas Day? I kind of wonder.
We actually should. We should
I
be
know.
open all the way through it, and that is the time that I close for the week between Christmas and New Year's, but that actually falls, so I get to work on a Monday, and then I'm gonna open the Friday before of the New Year, just because I don't want everybody slamming in one of those days
Yeah.
or the other.
Yeah.
So yes, we should be open that week, and in the future, as my office expands, we're going to make sure that we're open that week, because it's a good time to get in. Usually have a little more time in the schedule, and maybe have work and definitely school off. So yeah, in the future, I do see the importance there, and also my body, brain, and mind and spirit need
Yes.
a week to recover.
Yes.
So anyway, love you guys so much. Thanks for just being here, showing up with us, and sharing your comments. And Crafty, I see you and Silly Lily should get together for some
Yeah.
knitting, crocheting. That's awesome.
Knitting.
It's so
Wanna
great.
knit. I know. That sounds like a good calming brain
Yeah.
activity, and
They,
also
they,
like neurological patterning for knitting. It sounds amazing.
they say knitting and crocheting, like the research behind that, and rocking at the same time is wild amounts of good neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, and all of those things that
So cool.
help us feel good and calm our nervous system, and very vagal tone stimulating. So it's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Keep up the good work, ladies.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate each and every one of you being here. Make sure you subscribe, you share, you do all the things. And we'll see you Sunday for Sunday Night Live. Well, I'll see you Sunday for Sunday Night Live, Doctor. And actually, that's going to be a pre-recorded one, but you're not going to want to miss it, because it's all the ways to protect yourself through the holidays. So a lot of what we talked about today, some additional things as well. And then we'll see you here next
Next Thursday.
I gotta make sure we're in the right week,
Yeah.
because Christmas is on a Thursday. So we'll see you
I know
next week.
Christmas and New Year's Day are both on Thursdays, but we
Yeah.
might be able to do a New Year's maybe later, but
Yeah.
it'll
I
get fun.
feel like maybe we even do a New Year's Day
Yeah.
stream or something. That could be fun. So,
Fun. Okay. Love you
okay.
guys.
All right, you guys. See you. See ya. And